So today we're going to be talking about 3D shapes. What are 3D shapes? Um, well, in class we've talked a lot about 2D shapes or flat shapes, um, and we've talked about their properties. So we know that shapes are made up of lines, but when we use them in shapes, they are called sides. And we know that those sides can be straight sides, like we see here in a triangle or a square or a rectangle, or they can be curved, like we see in a circle. And that they could have different numbers of sides. Some could have only one side, some can have three sides, some have four sides, and on and on and on. And that when those sides come together in a point or a corner, that is called a, who remembers what these are called? Starts with the letter V. V. That's right. One of them is called a vertex. But when we have more than one, those are called vertices. Vertices. So when we were studying shapes, it was really just about how many sides does it have? How many vertices does it have? And are those sides straight or curved? And all of those shapes we could describe with those sides by describing their sides and vertices. And also whether the shape was an open shape or a closed shape, like these. But when we're talking about 3D shapes, we are adding what's called depth. And that's what the third dimension is. That's why we call it a 3D shape. I can't find my sponge, so I'm going to have to use my sweater here. Let's just go like this. I'm going to have to put this in the washer after. I'm just going to leave our square here. So let's imagine that I take this square and then I give it an extra line like that, an extra line like that, and an extra line like that, and then connect those lines. Suddenly, my 2D shape is now a 3D shape called a cube. To actually see a 3D shape, you'd have to actually pull it out like this. This is an actual three-dimensional cube that I can now hold in my hand. And with this, I can see that this 3D shape has those flat 2D shapes on it. Let's look at this cube. What does it have? I see it has a square here, and another square here, and another square here, and another square here, and a square on this side, and a square on this side, right? These are called its faces. 3D shapes all have those faces on them that are made of those 2D shapes that we know. Now, what we used to think, so with a 2D shape, we talked about how these were the sides of a 2D shape. On a 3D shape like this, these are now called the edges. Let's say that together. The edges, and we can run our fingers along those edges. Now, when those edges come together in a point or a corner, that is still called a vertex. Just like with the 2D shapes, with the 3D shapes, these are still called the vertices. So we can, again, with our fingers, we can touch those vertices. So when we explore 3D shapes, those are the properties that we are talking about. Faces, that sort of flat part. Edges, those lines along the side, and vertices. And when we're trying to analyze, we're asking the question, how many faces does the 3D shape have? How many edges does it have? How many vertices does it have? And are these edges or faces straight, or are they curved, as we can see in this shape? This is a cylinder which has a curved face and a curved edge. Now, here's our problem. or I should say, here's your problem. In order to properly, the best way to explore the properties of these 3D shapes is to actually hold one in your hand, to have it in your hand and turn it around and touch those faces, touch those edges, to count them as you turn it around. That is the best way to explore 3D shapes. Here's the problem. I know I've got these 3D shapes here in my house. Do you have stuff like this in your house? I don't know. So, what can you do so that you can do the same exploring of shapes that I'm doing with these? If only you had something that you could use to explore something in your home that could explore those 3D shapes. Hmm. Let me know if you think of anything. Hmm. 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 Keep thinking. I'm just gonna. Huh. Hmm. Have you come up with anything yet? No? Keep thinking. Hmm. 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 Have you thought of anything yet? Hmm. Oh, yeah, in your home, you might have some different things that you can use that are the same as these 3D shapes. You might have something like a ball in your home, which is the same as a sphere. You might have a can of something in your kitchen, which is the same as our cylinder. You might have, in fact, you probably have many boxes just like this in your kitchen, different sizes, that are just like this rectangular prism. So we're going to be talking more about these 3D shapes. What I would like you to do is I want you to look around your homes and see, where do you see some of these three-dimensional shapes through just regular objects in your home. Now, some of them are going to be easy to find. A sphere, easy to find. Almost everybody can maybe find a ball of some sort in their home. Again, cylinders, lots of can stuff out there, easy to find. Rectangular prisms, again, very, very, very easy to find. But when we start to get into these other shapes, like pyramids, which are made up of those triangular faces or triangle faces, or cones, or triangular prisms, these might be a little tougher to find. And then we're going to have to use our noodles to think, maybe how can we make some of these other shapes so that we can still explore them. And we're going to talk about that later. But for right now, let's focus on that. I want you to see if you can find some things around your house that are a sphere, round all the way around, a cylinder with its flat circle top and its flat circle bottom and its curved face all the way around, and a rectangular prism like I've got here with its rectangle top, rectangle bottom, rectangles on all its sides, that rectangular prism. I can't wait to see what you come up with, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye for now.